Thank you, Reverend Porter. To the family of Stephon Clark, I had committed at the funeral that we would be with them all the way. This is my 4th trip since the funeral. And I've stayed in touch with the grandmother and the mother throughout the year. And I've stayed in touch with Cervantes even before he was a commissioner. Because I think that this case is a national disgrace. Because what the DA has done is say that police have the right, based on their imagination, to use deadly force. Not that there was anywhere on the tape that there was a gesture that he was getting ready to shoot something, but because they thought, which is your imagination, they thought it was a gun. You can shoot multiple times, 6 of which was not even in the front. That is a threat to all of the young people in this city. When you make a legal precedent that all a policeman has to do is say, I thought, and he becomes the judge and the jury and the executioner. The reason that we join in supporting Member Weber in Assembly Bill 392 and in Assembly Bill 1024 is, let me tell you, the outrage of a DA, and I fight things all over the country. I fight cases all over the country. The outrage that a DA would decide the fate of this case in the privacy of their office and not present it to a grand jury is a way that you avoid witnesses perjuring themselves. If there was a grand jury, they would have to testify under oath. And if their family could disprove what they testified to, then they could be hit with perjury. By not bringing it to a grand jury, we have no public record at all of what witnesses told the DA, who lied to the DA, who may have given information that appeared less than credible, because there is no sworn testimony in front of a grand jury, which is why these bills must pass. You cannot give the singular authority to a DA to decide on the fate of a case. This smells of Donald Trumpism, where they think that all the decisions lie in their hands. Over 30 cases with police, and she never prosecuted. Why are you afraid to go to the grand jury? Why are you afraid to make a record? Why are you afraid to not tell people what the witnesses said? What was the evidence that you heard that led to your decision? We can't even get the record because there is no grand jury record. This was made by them and them alone. Secondly, these policemen ought to be taken off the force by the district manager. Anybody that doesn't know the difference between a gun and a cell phone ought not still be on the force. And a lot of people are avoiding the issue that they're still on the force. And there's been no movement by the district manager to remove them. We've seen cases tried where police were acquitted, they had grand juries, but were acquitted of criminal charges but taken off the force. They're still there. And taxpayers, the family and others, are paying their salaries. That's an insult to the people of this city. And to add insult to injury, to break into Stephon's phone and discredit him, put out his family business, to try and pit family members against each other, to play like he was the one that was the victimizer rather than the victim. You didn't go into the policeman's phones. You didn't dig up if they had a bad experience at home before they shot. Stephon didn't shoot nobody. What was in the policeman's mind? Let's see what their text messages and their emails. Maybe they were mad at somebody when they got there. How do you investigate the victim and don't investigate the victimizer? Lastly, reporter asked me about a lot of the young people that are supporting this family from day one. And they said, well, they went and stood in front of a ball game or marched on a bridge. Said, what do you think about that, Reverend? I said, maybe they read Martin Luther King. Nonviolent civil disobedience is what Martin Luther King taught us. And if you want to persecute and prosecute those young nonviolent activists, then stop celebrating Dr. King Day in the city of Sacramento. That's what the Freedom Riders did. You can't laud and applaud John Lewis and condemn young people that stood up against a murder in their city. Maybe they saw that Stephon could have been them. Maybe they saw that their privacy would be splattered all over the front page. To take this young man and dig him up and take his cell phone and scandalize him and not put any of it in front of a grand jury smacks of the most autocratic behavior that I've seen in my whole lifetime. At least the grand jury members, are they saying that you don't even trust the citizens of Sacramento to hear the evidence? They're saying, well, we're not going to give it to a grand jury because they may ask questions or they may decide different. You don't even trust your constituents. And that's why we're here, and we're going to keep coming. Yes, Stevante is right. The legacy is not going to be buried in some tampered cell phones. The legacy is that young people are going to go to school in Stephon's name. The legacy is they're going to have a recreational center in Stephon's name. The legacy is we're going to pass legislation in Stephon's name. The legacy is that we won't stop fighting for justice in Stephon's name. The legacy is we're going to keep marching in Stephon's name. You might have killed him a year ago, but you can't kill the movement. We're going to stand together, young and old, and we're going to keep fighting. There is no distance too far. We're going to be here with this family.